GP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's July 24th, 2026. If you're still enjoying this broadcast, we're asking you to do a one-time donation, or even better, sign up for that monthly sustaining membership. Today it's going to be hot with afternoon thunder showers. We got a little bit of monsoonal air coming in. And then tomorrow we'll also have isolated thunder showers with winds and possible red flag warning for Saturday and Sunday. And it's going to be even drier on Sunday and some continued heat. It is going to get a little bit cooler as we go through the weekend, just by a couple degrees though. Looking at those storms that came through the Wood River Valley yesterday, kind of all over the place with how much rain fell. But this is looking at Wonderground, which has a nice way of looking at all these local gauges, rain gauges on people's houses. So we have anywhere from a couple hundredths of an inch to 14 tenths of an inch. As we move further to the north, it seems like there was less rain over Ketchum. So it was really hit or miss how much rainfall we got. With that, we picked up a lot of lightning strikes. You can kind of see it's on the southwest to northwest, hitting mostly in the White Knobs and eastern Pioneers into the Lost Rivers. Looking at satellite hotspots this morning, these only come through each satellite kind of varies in the length, but they're not like an hourly update. So not seeing any heat sources out there from those lightning strikes, but sometimes they kind of linger with these higher humidities until it gets hotter during the day. All right, so much different look at what's going on. You can see this huge patch of dry air heading to our west, and we do have these little patches here, a little bit here. This is monsoonal air, so this is looking at the mid-level water vapor map. This will filter in some monsoonal air in the afternoon. So we're going to start out with fairly clear skies. We're just starting to get the sunrise here, but there's not any big clouds here to our southwest. So we're going to start out really sunny. It's going to heat up through the morning hours, and that's going to allow some daytime heating. So once that moisture does come overhead, that'll activate some afternoon thunder showers. So if we look at her forecast, her model, you can start to see pop-up thunder showers happening after 3 p.m. or so north of Ketchum. And then as we move through, might have some bands like last night, dropping some heavy bands of precip with some strong thunder. And then through tomorrow, Saturday, we might pick up a little bit more in the morning before some afternoon thunder showers. Looks like less on Saturday, but if we rotate over to the NAM forecast, has a little bit more activity for today as far as thunder showers, and then more for like tomorrow before noon. So kind of see where it's at, bobbling between those two forecasts. Either way, we're going to have chances of thunder showers. And looking at the chances here, we're in the 20 to 30% range for today, this afternoon, and then a little bit less. It's going to be to our east for Saturday afternoon, and drier for Sunday. I didn't talk about red flag warnings, but we are going to have some increased winds, gusting to 30 to 40 miles per hour starting on Saturday and then moving into Sunday. So that might have some elevated fire risk with that, because the humidities are also going to be pretty low, especially on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised to see a red flag warning get put out that day. This is looking at our smoke forecast. So a lot of this is traveling to the northwest of us in the Wood River Valley. Boise's continuing to get smoke, but as you get further into the day and those winds pick up, that just filters out that low-level smoke until the afternoon. It comes back in, and it kind of flows down through the Snake Plain, not quite getting up into the Wood River Valley because it's being blocked by mountains until the morning hours when it can kind of pick up through the valley floor. But anyways, not a lot of smoke in the forecast for the Wood River Valley, more so in Boise, taking the brunt of that. Looking at the 500 millibar charts, the blues are where those lows or weather are. The warmer colors are high pressure. So the west is still sitting under Four Corners is kind of the center of that high, bringing lots of high temperatures and dry humidities. And that's going to shift a little bit to the west. So it's not going to allow as much monsoonal moisture to wrap around that. It's going to close off that monsoonal moisture until about Tuesday when we have this low sneak down off the coast and kind of push that low or push that high to the east again. We have another cyclone, hurricane working its way up. That's also going to be a source of monsoonal moisture. So with the El Nino being present right now, it's kicking off a lot of cyclones in the Pacific Ocean, and that is just a good spot to circulate this monsoonal moisture. So seeing more monsoonal moisture than previous summers because of that El Nino. With monsoonal moisture, that's going to give us enough moisture in the mid-level sections of the atmosphere to initiate thunderstorms. So that's kind of the big deal this summer. We're seeing more chances of thunder showers and just rain. It's not going to be like the atmospheric rivers that hit us in the wintertime. These are just kind of bursts of moisture that are just getting pushed up. So it kind of comes in little sections rather than a constant river. That's hitting South America right now and just unloading snow down there. Missed that by a few weeks with skiing. Looking at the temperatures, we are going to see above normal temperatures. It looks like till really the second week of August, things start to get a little bit cooler. It's going to be a little drier for the next few days, and then moving into August, even drier. So we might have that more of that monsoonal moisture cut off with that area of high pressure over the Utah, Nevada section. Fortunately, though, I did see the colors change on the drought monitor. So with that recent rains, this kind of D2 severe drought bands, which still sounds nasty, has kind of shifted a little bit further south, and we're holding on to a moderate drought still for much of the central mountains. All right, that's all I got. Have a good weekend.